Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have a problem with this little warning, and I heard this warning made by the Russians many times, and I'm really struggling to understand it. Let's put it this way. And the warning is sounds like this: do not use HIMARS or Storm Shadow missiles to hit Crimea. This is what Shoigu, the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, warns Ukraine. What are you talking about? Let me read you the article a little bit here. Reuters: Russia warns Ukraine against striking Crimea with US British missiles. So this is from today, the 20th of June 2023. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said on Tuesday that Moscow had information that Ukraine was planning to strike Russian-controlled Crimea with longer-range US and British missiles and warned Russia would retaliate if that happened. Well, like what? Retaliate like what? What are you gonna do? What extra would you give? Because according to these guys here, you've done everything but nuclear weapons drops. Is that what's gonna be? I don't think so. So then what are you gonna hit? But you're gonna find out. It's very interesting. Here, so let me read further and then we can analyze this warning. Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014. And I should add, due to following referendum over there, I think two of them, one to break from those guys, the other one, or to be independent, and the other one was to join Russia. The will of the people, democracy, we love that here. Oh, we don't in this case? Okay, my bad. I was informed that in this case, only when we do it, it counts, or when our guy wins, then we like democracy. When they do it and we don't like the outcome, then we don't like democracy. We say it a sham. Sham elections, that's the word. Got that? Repeat, sham. Sham elections, sham referendum. Alright. Russia annexed Tralala Dululu Kikiki. Okay. And calls it special military operation with focus in eastern and southern Ukraine, where Ukraine is fighting to retake territory. Kiev, which says it is battling for its survival in a war of colonial conquest, said it was to reclaim all of its territory, however, including the Crimean Peninsula, which hosts Russia's Black Sea naval base. They could just take it away from there and let the Americans come and bring their navy over there. Shoigu told a meeting of military officials that Moscow had information that Ukraine planned to strike Crimea with US-supplied HIMARS long-range rocket systems and with British-supplied Storm Shadow cruise missiles. So, I'm quoting again, the use of these missiles outside the zone of our military operation would mean that the United States and Britain would be fully dragged into the conflict and would entail, this is important, immediate strikes on decision-making centers in Ukraine. What does that mean? I see the connection between United States and Britain and decision-making centers in Ukraine. This, they will drag them in the conflict and will mean the immediate strikes on these guys. Why don't you strike them right now, Shoigu? Is it forbidden? So, see, all of this thing here begs this question. I think I have the answer already. I had it for a long time. The Americans and the Russians communicate very much behind all of us regarding the engagement in Ukraine. I think it's a controlled war, and I said it is for 1 year and 2 months at least. Why? The Russians don't do what they can do, like the potential that they have, they don't use it, and the other guys are not allowing the Ukrainians to hit inside Russia. We're going to give you HIMARS, but don't hit inside Russia. What are you talking about? And these guys say, if you hit inside Russia, that means you're involved. What are you talking about? Hey, you are supposed to shoot only where we say. Line of contact, that's all. But we can shoot in Lviv or Lvov. We can shoot in Kiev. We can launch whatever missiles wherever we want in your country. But hey, you are not supposed to hit in our country. Especially with the Western weapons. You can use your Western weapons to shoot our people, kill our guys, but only here, but not there. What is this? What is this? That means somewhere these guys are talking. I've been saying this for at least 1 month, maybe from, not month, 1 year and so on. Maybe from the first time when these guys, the West says, well, we're going to give you these weapons, but don't use them to hit inside Russia. I was like, what are you talking about? Why? But they can shoot inside of my country? And why are the other guys upset about it? Oh, because it's what's going on. And besides, let's put this factor into all this. Why not Crimea? According to the Ukrainians, Crimea is their territory. It's not Russia. According to Russian sham referenda, 2 of them, right? It's Russian territory. Is it recognized by the international community? No. Therefore, it's still however you want to take it. So from this angle, it's Ukrainian territory. From the American and British angle, also Crimea is Ukrainian territory. It's not Russian territory. So why United States and Great Britain say, no, we're going to give the Stormy Waters missiles and the HIMARS, but don't shoot in your territory because that's Russia? By preventing the Ukrainians to hit, and I'm not for hitting, but I want to be fair about it, by preventing the Ukrainians to hit hit Crimea, which is Ukrainian, right? It's still Ukrainian United Nations. It's still under the, it's not Russian. That means you confirm that that's Russian. I'm talking about the United States and Great Britain. If you tell these guys don't shoot Crimea, what do you mean? That means you endorse the sham referenda, basically. And now this guy, another thing. Shoigu said if they use those to hit inside Russia, which only the Russians and 2 more countries claim Crimea is Russian. If you shoot inside Russia, we consider United States and Britain a part of the war. They were part of the war since they sent the first bullet. They was part of the war. You help my enemy, you don't help me, you pick side, you're in it. That's how I would see it. I mean, what are you talking about? So this thing with you win, and then what's the revenge? What are they gonna do? They're gonna hit command centers. What they call it? Decision-making centers in Ukraine. That makes me think that there are some Americans and some British generals in Ukraine, and these guys are saying, if you guys allow these guys to hit inside, we're gonna hit your man over there. I think that's what it is. I am 98% certain so far that is true. I don't have the evidence, but it's a veiled piece of information. I heard it so many times when they threatened when the Russians are warning or threatening the Americans or the British, they say we're gonna hit the command centers in that. What do you mean? They didn't come out and say, hey, because we know there are generals from NATO over there, US over there. Why would that entail that? Why would be a direct connection between you shoot inside our territory, we're going to shoot your command centers? I thought that was fair game, wasn't it? In a war, to hit the command centers. You want to hit the command centers because that is the brain of the whole war. So you want to destroy it. So now we find out they're not destroying them. What is going on here? You haven't been destroying them? What's this warning about? It's either those guys have generals over there, which I think 98% they have on the territory of Ukraine, or maybe in Poland. I'm 100% certain they have in Poland. There's no way they don't have it in a NATO country where they fight like weasels, and they can. We can punch you, you can't punch us back. That's why when you hear Lindsey Graham and other weasels here being so tough on war and doing this to Putin and all that, because they think there will be no consequences. But I'm not, suggesting anything. But if those guys get crazy, or you have some criminals, or you have some, some mercenaries doing something to some people here that are in control, I guarantee you these guys will pay attention more and be more responsible with their statements. But they are so certain, we're good, man, we're going to do this to you. The same with the Brits. We're going to sanction you, we're going to get your money, we're going to give it to Ukraine. They can do whatever they want. Why? You can't touch us, but we can. And you say, well, good for them. Well, good for them, but the other guys can retaliate as well. And what are you going to do then? Are you going to attack Russia? Let's say, I'm just giving you a scenario, bad scenario, but let's say the Russians decide to send a few bad agents because they're not good at all at doing the job. They couldn't poison so many people. They just half poisoned, which, again, I don't believe they failed all those times. I don't think those were Russians who tried and they did not succeed. Remember those poisonings all over the world where they are just almost poisoned to tell the story. Really? I don't. Anyway. So those guys could send some mercenaries, some agents, and create some little assassinations, political assassinations. And then what? This guy will say, well, we know it was you, so what are you going to do? Are you going to assassinate us? We're going to send you a bomb, we're going to sink your island. What are you going to do? Or we don't even have to think it. We're just going to flood it, as some general suggested. Hit a little Tsar bomb next to the island. Far from it, you create a tsunami, and then we're going to wipe the whole island. We don't have to hit it over there. So your air defenses are zero. Just saying. It's a control thing here. It's not total war whatsoever. When they say, well, the war machine, it's not. Russia fights, I think, between 5 and 7% of its potential. The other guys, on the other hand, fight with everything they got, including the 30 other NATO countries and so on. And this guy said, if you shoot inside Crimea, we're going to hit the command centers. I thought you were doing that. Why aren't you doing that? And why shouldn't they hit Crimea? If they want to shoot, military targets in Russia, why not? You attacked my country. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to punch you in the nose, but you can punch me or kick me in the balls? Is that how it works? Or you can kick me in the balls, but I can't grab you by the balls and... No? No. Jesus Christ, what is this? I don't want to go that far, but anyway. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Command Center.